all good. So tonight is our first annual Heading Up North. We're calling it a music celebration hosted by the Lost 40, and it's in the beautiful historic Chateau Theater. We're going to do a festival format today. We're going to have a lobby stage up front with solo performers from Rochester, and then behind me will be the main stage. This is our first time doing this, so we're hoping to make this an annual event. But yeah, this is the first big shabam. When did you guys come to Rochester earlier this year?
I was trying to remember.
Was it back in springtime?
It was a while ago.
Okay. So we're in beautiful Carpet Booth Studios right now in Marion, Minnesota, just south of Rochester. It's the old Church of Marion that got renovated into a beautiful studio complex. We are currently in the live room for the main studio spot. So I'm in a band called Clay Fulton and the Lost 40. My name is Clay Fulton. We formed in the spring of 2021. I came into that project more with the mindset of a solo artist. I had this batch of songs, and it was during the recording process that I realized how much I missed being in a band. And so a few of the people that record on the record became band members, and then we kind of filled in the pieces from there. We've done every show as this lineup. We don't have any subs in our band.
I'm Mike, I play lead guitar.
I'm Clay, I play rhythm guitar and sing vocals.
My name's Alan, I play bass guitar, and I guess you could say I'm the keeper of the mixing rack as well.
I'm Carly, and I do harmonies.
I'm Peter, and I play keyboards and occasionally accordion.
Nick is our drummer and also sings harmonies in the band as well.
I was playing a show at Little Thistle Brewing, and Clay was at it. He said, "Hey, I'm starting a band. I want you to play drums in it." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, send me the music. I'll listen to it, and we'll see if it makes sense." And so then I listened to it, and I was like, "This is a little country for what I normally do. I normally live in like a rock and that kind of." But he was like, and so he's like, "It's gonna work. It's gonna be great."
With that first rehearsal, it was definitely intimidating to be like, all right, I don't know some of these people. I'm going to this person's basement. We're going to set up and we're just going to see. We're going to see what happens. And like, not only being blown away by like the talent of each and every member of being like, oh, wow, I must have something if these people want me to be a part of this project. It was so clear from the first day too that like everyone is so kind and so wonderful that I think after that first practice, I knew that this was going to be like a long-term thing in my life.
I think Minnesota is a pretty spectacular creative community. I feel more that vibe of everyone being on the same team rather than being in competition. And that's kind of the Minnesota music scene. It's got a real good family vibe to it.
I shouldn't go without saying that none of us would be here without Clay also.
Obviously.
And I feel like we like immediately, you know, as soon as we heard a lot of your original songs, wanted to jump on them. Yeah.
Easy decision.
So it was very exciting.
I get the ideas for my songs mostly from personal experience. It tends to be my therapy, putting my problems or whatever it may be, emotions down on paper. Well, we driving down on Highway 61. Somewhere by me, yes, girl. It's not that all my songs are sad songs, but a lot of those songs come from, you know, tougher times in your life. And then I do on occasion write story songs about things that aren't about me, but the majority of my work is definitely a personal relation. Baby love, baby love, just tell me I'm enough, call my bluff. So I was born with a birth defect, and so I wear a prosthetic. When I was little, they were unsure of like my level of like physical activity would be when I was a little guy. So my mom noticed that I was interested in music and listened, intently. When I was about 5 years old in kindergarten, signed me up for guitar lessons. And so that's probably my earliest memory is playing classical guitar when I was 5, and I did that all the way through grade school, so it was kind of the beginning of it all. You know, everybody's situation's different, but I've had conversations that have made me feel so good, giving someone some hope about, you know, their mobility or, you know, whatever they're struggling with their own disability. And I think that is really special, and I love when people feel good enough to talk to me about it. Yeah, I'm not sure how much time we have left, but yeah, this is the carpet booth. This is one of the vocal spaces or any isolation booth for amplifiers, whatever you might be doing. But this is the room that the studio gets its namesake from, and it's covered with this beautiful carpet here. So that's where you get the origins of Carpet Booth Studios.
You must have to vacuum the walls every once in a while.
Yeah, I think the interns do a lot of cleaning around here. Yeah, buddy. We have been fortunate enough now to work on 3 records here together as a group, but the vibes out here are incredible. Carpet Booth offers this really safe space, and Zach Zern, the owner and head engineer here, he's really good at getting the most out of you and having a fun time while you do it. And then we've done a different process a couple times. With this first record, I came in with every song written and fully formed. The second record, which we called Positive Numbers, was more creativity, even though I wrote the charts. And now this last record, everybody will have split writing credits because everybody really did write parts of these songs. So the name of our band, The Lost 40, comes from a place up in northern Minnesota. I grew up going to that area in the Chippewa National Forest. My grandpa lived up there in the 80s and 90s. And I had heard this really cool story about the Lost 40, which was this area that was supposed to be logged at the early turn of the century. And due to some slip up by surveyors, it didn't get logged. And after they realized their mistake, they decided to protect this 40 acres of beautiful old growth forest. And then also it's really difficult to come up with a cool band name. And I'm like, this is a really neat part of me and a cool way, I think, to kind of incorporate into a band name. You old time thief, time thief, you old time thief. I couldn't remember if we had signed it, but I think 2023 we signed the door.
You're right. Well, I have never signed the door.
Not your chance.
Check, check, check. Can you hear me out there, everybody? How's everyone doing? Well, my name's Clay Fulton. Welcome to the first annual Heading Up North Music Celebration hosted by The Lost 40.
Yeah, we're just in a vibey, like, castle place. One of my bandmates said it used to be a Barnes & Noble.
Really?
But I'm like, did Barnes & Noble have a castle thing going on?
How is the festival going so far?
I'd say so far it feels like a big success. Year one's rolling along nicely. I'm overwhelmed by all the support from everyone in our community and really excited just for my turn to go play the guitar, you know?
Lost 40
Yeah.
guys as
They
well?
they played my wedding. There's no other humans like those guys. They make things happen on the fly and always deliver a stellar and like, well, yeah, like I said, they played my wedding. Like they're the band that you're like, oh, we're gonna have a good time. If this is everything that we want people to know. Like Rochester has a music scene, and Minnesota has a music scene.
Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. A better future starts now. West Central Initiative empowers communities with resources, funding, and support for a thriving region. More at wcif.org.